Wednesday, April 8th brought us the concept of notebooks to Gemini. At a high level, the Gemini notebooks are analogous to projects in the other chatbots, but with a twist, a big twist. The leveraging of NotebookLM notebooks and bringing them into Gemini. The following video will discuss this new functionality.
When you use AI for a deep dive, like studying for exams or a complicated new hobby, you generate a massive amount of information very quickly. But as your project scales in complexity, keeping track of that information becomes a chore. Your older, highly useful chat threads get pushed further and further down the history panel until they are effectively lost. Then there's the context problem. Every time you open a fresh chat, the AI forgets the source materials you were just working with. You end up repeatedly re-uploading the exact same PDFs and reference documents. The workflow really breaks down when you need to switch gears. Say you want to take the broad ideas you generated in Gemini and run them through NotebookLM for specialized deep research analysis. Because these applications are siloed, you duplicate your effort. You have to drag and drop the exact same files and notes just to start completely from scratch in the new app. Without a persistent memory connecting these tools, you are stuck acting as the manual bridge between isolated AI sessions, wasting time and losing your train of thought. To fix this context vacuum, Google added a feature inside Gemini called Notebooks. It operates as a dedicated project base designed to keep your ongoing work intact. Instead of losing a great conversation, you can now move your past, relevant chat histories directly into this newly organized workspace. You can also set custom instructions. This gives Gemini persistent rules for how it should format answers and behave, specifically tailored to the project you're working on. Next, you add your reference files. Uploading specific documents and PDFs gives Gemini a strictly bounded context to operate within. Once those hand-picked sources are locked in, Gemini deploys its conversational engine and live web search specifically against that precise group of information. This architecture turns Gemini from a transient chat window into a personalized, contextualized workspace that remembers exactly what you are trying to accomplish. These notebooks function as a shared personal knowledge base, remaining synchronized across both Gemini and NotebookLM. The mechanical rule here is simple. Any source file you upload into one application automatically and instantly populates in the other. Let's look at how this works in practice. Imagine you're a student and you upload a semester's worth of raw class notes into a newly created Gemini notebook. Because those files are immediately synced, you can open up NotebookLM and apply its highly specialized analytical features to those exact same pre-synced notes. While in NotebookLM, you can use those notes to generate study aids, like a visual infographic or one of their new cinematic video overviews. The next day, you can return to the Gemini app. The AI retains perfect memory of your notes, meaning you can immediately ask it to draft a structured essay outline based on that exact material. This interoperability lets you use the generative flexibility of Gemini and the analytical rigor of NotebookLM without ever having to type or upload the same thing twice. By connecting these sessions, your research accumulates over weeks and months, turning isolated queries into a persistent digital partnership that scales with the project. To start, this ecosystem is rolling out on the web specifically for Google AI Ultra, Pro, and Plus subscribers. Google plans to expand that access soon, bringing notebooks to mobile platforms, broader European regions, and eventually to free-tier users. There are a few current limitations. The feature is unavailable for workspace accounts, education accounts, and users under 18. You should also know that the number of data sources you can add scales depending on your subscription plan, giving higher tiers more capacity for longer-running projects. So the next time you sit down to tackle a multi-layered project, abandon the habit of opening a standard chat, build a unified notebook, and give your AI the focused context it needs to help you get the job done.